now to launch the event officially. The event, I don't know if I have to beat the drum, but I want to invite here Kevin Perkins, the Executive Director of Farm Radio International, for a very warm word of welcome. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Martine. Thank you for that great kickoff. And welcome to Farm Radio International's World Radio Day celebration. Let me start by saying a sincere thank you to everyone who's there, our supporters and partners who are joining us today. As we finish the second year of the pandemic, it remains clear that the need for accurate and reliable information has never been so strong. Last year, with your support, we produced and distributed content and training resources with over 1,000 African radio partners and over 3,500 individual broadcasters in Africa. Broadcaster resources were created covering a wide range of topics such as preventing post-harvest losses, improving resilience to changes in the climate, and updates on how to farm and remain safe during the pandemic. We also supported the production and broadcast of 5,300 unique radio program episodes aired by 258 radio stations across 14 countries in Africa. These programs reached about 50 million people. Most of our programs emphasize small-scale agriculture. COVID-19 had impact on global trade, making it all the more important that locally grown food be available. At a time when it was difficult to travel and work with people face-to-face, we helped many agricultural initiatives to continue, even accelerate, using radio as a way to connect with their community participants. In a world of so many media choices, radio remains the channel of choice for farming women and men in Africa. There are just so many benefits. Broadcasts are in the languages of listeners, and they reflect the day-to-day realities of their region. Radio doesn't depend on literacy, and it's free. For those of you who support us already, those in the group who are already supporting us, or who wish to find out how to support us, your continued contributions would be much appreciated as we face a year ahead. And you can donate now or at any time by going to give.farmradio.org. Thank you once again for your support. So again, I'm just so happy to welcome you today to this celebration of radio excellence ahead of World Radio Day, which is actually taking place on Sunday. This year is the 11th anniversary of World Radio Day, and we're celebrating radio's ability to evolve, to innovate, and to connect millions of people, bringing us closer together, even in these complicated times. Radio remains the best way for millions of underserved rural communities to access information in their own languages. Each year, Farm Radio International celebrates excellence in radio broadcasting in Africa with 2 awards, the George Atkins Communications Award and the Liz Hughes Award for her farm radio. The winners of both these awards serve as excellent examples of how radio broadcasters and their programs can serve audiences and improve the lives for their listeners. To announce our first award, I have the honor and privilege of introducing Lloyd Robertson. Lloyd Robertson is one of Canada's most respected and decorated news anchors, really a giant in Canadian broadcast media. He spent 35 years as chief anchor and senior editor at the CTV National News. He's been a spokesperson for Farm Radio International since the 1980s and was a friend of our founder and namesake for the first award, George Atkins. Over to you, Lloyd.
Well, thank you very, very much, Kevin. And hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in our program circle here. It is my privilege and honor, once again, to be here to present the George Atkins Award. I knew George personally. I was the announcer on his farm radio broadcasts for several years. And when George was moving into this new volunteer work of his, he asked me if I would help him. And I said, I would be delighted to, because I know how very worthwhile this project is. George used to sign off every program saying, serving agriculture, the basic industry. He really believed that. He believed that agriculture was the key to common livelihood the world over. And there's no question, he's right about that. He was a great communicator, big man, big heart, big ideas. So it was no surprise to so many of us when, on a Commonwealth broadcast tour in Africa in the 70s, George immediately recognized the need for information about simple, low-cost practices for small-scale farmers, things like updates in irrigation methods, that kind of thing. And George talked not just to the politicians and officials, he talked to the farmers about what they really needed. He talked to the broadcasters about how they could help get these updated messages across. And it all began in 1979, when suddenly George was sending from Canada scripts out to 34 countries across Africa in what was then described as the Developing Countries Farm Network. That was the precursor to Farm Radio International. George really understood the power of radio, that it is a basic form of communication because it's talking to people and people can correspond back with you. And that's the wonderful thing about it. George would be more than pleasantly surprised if he could see the way this whole project of his has grown today, including the French and Spanish contributions to Farm Radio International. So now it is my great pleasure once again to introduce today's winners of the George Atkins Award. These awards first presented in 1991. They're presented every year to an individual who demonstrates overall excellence in responding to the needs of small-scale farmers, and as well as sharing a commitment to Farm Radio International. And I'm going to start, first of all, with our French-speaking winners. And first to Rosamonde Bacchiano, who is a journalist and broadcaster in Radio Monya, Burkina Faso. So Rosamonde, let me ask you personally how you feel about getting this award, and tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, merci bien.
Okay, thank you very much. I am Rosamond Bacchiano, director of the radio in Bankara. My radio station is 20 years old, and I have to say that it has been a long time that we work for rural development. And this prize for me is the beginning of a new challenge, the challenge for the radio to really take responsibility for all the issues of rural development and rural world. And we feel with this prize that we need to continue on this path, and also to show all our colleagues this desire to get engaged in those awareness actions, and also to accompany rural populations. I also want to say thank you to FRI for this prize, and to recognize the benefits of the radio with all the work that we do every day. Thank you.
And thanks to you, Rosamonde. Next winner, Patricia Kasoki, a broadcaster and a commentator in Kayabayanga, Democratic Republic of Congo, and station RCE KAFM. Hello, Patricia. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what this award means to you.
Bonsoir, bonjour à tous.
Good evening. Hi, everyone. I am happy to participate in this big event today. I am Miss Patricia Kasoki, and proactive journalist and a radio producer based in the east of Democratic Republic of Congo. And I can say myself that this communication prize for George Atkins, it's a big prize for me and a big recognition because I am the main host of Badilika, that means a change in French. And it's a program that for agriculture, and this program was created to be able to give the listeners to give more information regarding land ownership, and also for a woman to participate in decision making. And so, of course, as myself as a female journalist, I don't really feel like I'm a part of this domain, because I face quite a lot of stereotypes every day. A lot of people think that the work of the journalist is something that is reserved for men, and thanks to the encouragement of my radio station and also the trainings that I get from FRI, I see things differently, and to think as a woman, I also have the possibility to change positively my community. So again, I just want to thank you. Um, Thank you to the FRI team for this prize, which is warmly welcome and also a big responsibility. And I think this prize is going to change my way of, the way I work. I really didn't even have material so that I can produce good work, but thanks to this prize, I'll be able to buy a computer and so that I can continue to produce good and quality work for the radio station. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia, and especially for those wonderful words about women and the development of women as broadcasters and workers in Africa today. That's wonderful. Here's to women. All right, next, Solomon Ayala, Deborah Burhan Fada FM 94.0 in Ethiopia. He's a journalist and a broadcaster and a station manager, and he receives this year's George Atkins Award. And Solomon, I'd like to know, first off, what took you into broadcasting?
ጤና ይስጥልኝ ሰለሞን ገብቶሃል ያለው?
Yes, thank you. It is a great question. When I was a kid, I had participated in the mini media club in the school. When I was a teacher, I have led in the mini media club in the school, and this was my passion. I like listening to the radio. This experience have motivated me to be a broadcaster and to a good leader. Thank you.
And Solomon, how do you feel radio is able to make a real difference?
I feel we are the excellent center to share our experience to those other media, because we have done a job well and have achieved our objective, so that we are improving constantly. This is our success. Success is a journey, not a destination. That is, we are arrived after, we never arrive after reach one goal. We go on the next and so on.
And Solomon, I know that there in your region of Ethiopia, you have a number of small farmers set up in villages. How do you help them?
Yes, there are many listeners becoming a source of information about the market, the weather, technology, inputs, and other political and social issues. We're to share the strong farmers' experience to others. If they have any questions, we becomes the voice of the farmer.
And do you get a lot of feedback from your listeners? And what sort of things do they tell you?
Thank you. Yes, we have got many listeners gave us their feedback when the program had been participatory, and when it comes to the personal matters, most of them ask about the farming inputs and the government expert support. The small number of them have presented their gratitude about the program. Thank you.
We know that your region has been touched by some of the conflict in Ethiopia. How has this challenged your important work?
Yes, the conflict had come near to Debre Birhan, about 60 kilometers apart. During this time, we didn't work as a normal time. The program, because of concentration of the whole public was on the war. We have talked about the war and the consequences of the war, the displaced people, and the public support and the effect of the war on the economy. As a business media, we are also affected by the war. Therefore, we didn't work our standard program.
And how has Farm Radio International been able to help you in your work?
We have got many supports from the Farm Radio International. Farm Radio International gave us different training to keep our radio production quality. We have got the voice standard to keep our program quality. We have got different farming information about the world. We have a mutual agreement to deliver quality farmer program with collaboration. Thank you.
Well, Solomon, thank you so much for appearing with us today. And congratulations once again on winning the George Atkins Award. And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And to all of our winners. Yes, let's clap, Martine, you're right. I know that George would be amazed at how his project has grown to the lengths it has now, and he would be delighted to see this year's winners. So once again, thanks to George, and thanks to Farm Radio International. And it's been my honor to once again be part of the George Atkins Awards. And now to our wonderful hostess, Martine.
Merci beaucoup, Lloyd. Merci pour ces...
Thank you very much, Lloyd. Thank you for these very fruitful interviews. I just want to say hi to those that have joined us while we were in the interviews. I don't know where you are coming from, Ethiopia, Kenya, DRC, Mali, Togo, but we are honored by your presence here. Just a reminder, if you have not yet chosen your translation room, you need to choose your room according to the instruction received. Now I am even more honored to enter in another category of this event, where we are going to give the Liz Hughes Award for Women's Farm Radio. Because, and you know, when we talk about women, for me, it's like, wow, we're talking about women. So the Liz Hughes Award is presented by Farm Radio International to recognize a radio program team dedicated to serving women listeners. And these winning programs address gender equality and make women's voices heard. And this year, we've had 21 applications from 10 different countries with programs addressing issues such as women's leadership, challenging gender equality norms, gender-based violence, barriers to women's rights to access land. And we were impressed by this edition, by the number of submissions of application. It was just wow. The winners were chosen by a jury of gender experts. It was not easy at all, but in the panel of jury we had professional broadcasters, we had rural radio board members, and partner organizations. The Liz Hughes Women's Farm Radio Award is named after a remarkable woman who served as a member of FRI's board of directors. Herself was a journalist and a broadcaster. She worked for many years at the CBC, supporting other broadcasters in her senior management role. And we have to say that everything she was doing at FRI or everywhere, she was really a champion for gender equality. Unfortunately, Liz passed away from cancer in 2018, but I can reassure you that we are proud to honor her memory each year with this award. Again and again, Liz lives through this prize, and for that, I want to invite someone that is really exceptional for us, exceptional for Liz. His name is Doug Rushton. He's Liz's husband, and is going to also present the prize. So now I'm calling Doug Rushton to present Liz Hughes Prize for Farm Radio International.
Hello, and thank you, Martine. I assume I'm on. Liz would love this award. She was a terrific mentor and leader whose support for women in radio was enormous. She also loved Africa, starting back in 1987 when we brought our 4-year-old daughter with us for 6 months in Africa, traveling to Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And she returned in 1994 to South Africa to help journalists there cover the very first democratic elections in South Africa. And the two of us spent a glorious month camping in Botswana and Namibia in 2015. Anyway, the runner-up is Radio Maria in Tanzania, and the grand prize winner of the Liz Hughes Award for 2022 is Media Plus of Côte d'Ivoire. I loved the description Media Plus gave of the program's purpose. It is clear and simple and quickly gives you an idea of your program's focus and attitude. You identify your audience as, obviously, of course, young girls and women, but also men whose view of women clearly needs to be enlightened. Good broadcasters always come up with good ideas, ways to understand and reach your audience. Media Plus Radio uses a foolproof method of doing that, which is asking your audience for guidance. Brilliant. What are the issues, problems, challenges, and ideas that women and men want to hear more about? You ask them. Way to go. And you come up with what an American defense secretary once called a known unknown. In other words, you know about the problem of encouraging women to speak up, and you are working on figuring out how to solve it. I hope you remain steadfast in pursuing that. I also commend the station for tackling what you call sensitive subjects. Bravo. In just a moment, Martine will be speaking with the winner, but right now, we would like to welcome the runner-up station, Radio Maria in Tanzania. Hello, Juliet Muanga. Are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for you. You use Vox Pop a lot in your program, as do many broadcasters. But you also mentioned earlier when you were communicating with us that sometimes women are reluctant to speak up. How do you encourage women to speak up?
I was encouraging women to speak with me, especially when they are with the men. So I encourage them with their husbands, and then I share my ideas and they understand. At the end of the day, they agree to participate in my program, but I make sure that the families of that women are here.
Oh, that's great. And also you're a one person, your broadcast it's yours. You run it all by yourself. How difficult is that?
Not difficult for me because I prepare myself firstly. I have an idea, and then I write my script, then I find the different sources. I thank God I can manage those duties of producer, host, and director. And it's a very big time I prepare that program. I thank God for that.
Well, that's just terrific. Congratulations, you deserve to be runner-up, if not the winner, but you're not the winner yet. Maybe next year. Thank you very much. And right now I send it back to Martine, who is going to talk with the winner from Media Plus.
Effectivement,
Indeed, Juliette was the second, and now it's with a huge pleasure. Thank you very much, Doug, for this very fulfilling interview and for presenting the second winner. And it's the real pleasure right now, everyone, to present Miss Eunice Coley of Radio Media Plus of Ivory Coast, more precisely in Bouaké, which broadcasts on the 103 FM frequency. Eunice is the presenter of a Woman in Leadership program, which won this year's Liz Hughes Grand Prize. The goal of the radio show is to present women in a non-traditional role or in non-traditional roles in order to communicate to the audience that women and men are equal and can play many different roles in society. The program also addresses topics such as women's access to sexual reproductive health information, the importance of respecting prenatal consultations and their capacities to decide on their maternity, as well as the virtual absence of women in high-level bodies of decision and gender-based violence. Welcome, Madame Coley, and congratulations. Thank you. Okay, so you participate in this event since Côte d'Ivoire. Eunice, can you tell us a little bit more about your program? Like, what can we leave with you through your program? So, Leadership au Féminin is a program that promotes gender equality. So it came from we realized that in Côte d'Ivoire and even in Africa that women do not have cannot have their voice heard, and the few women that make it in the working place, they are victim of discrimination, and so Leadership au Féminin actually face and provide solutions to that situation. So we include women that actually made it in the working place. We also have a segment where we talk about sexual and reproductive health, and we also give the voice to the partners so that they have a happy couple life. We also have a politic segment to encourage women to take roles in politics. It's really a very rich program, Eunice, can you tell us how this program was welcomed by the radio management? I imagine that the management of the radio station is made out of men, and so when you proposed this program, what was their reaction? So first here at Media Plus Côte d'Ivoire, we are for gender equality. Why? Because we have as many men and women, and so we have host men and women, and so when I presented that program, men they laughed a little bit. They're like, "Oh, woman, you want to compare yourself to us," and so we laughed a little bit. And after that, it was very well welcome, based on the different stereotypes that are present in our community, because since always women are victim of discriminations. I imagine that if the radio or the management of the radio station accepted the broadcast of this program, you still faced some challenges. So what were the challenges that you faced in producing that program, or even the ones that you are still facing these days? So the challenges, there are always challenges. We give ourselves the objective to produce quality radio programs, and it's not always easy, especially with resources people, and we are a community radio station, and as this type of radio, we will have this problem when we do this program. Most of the people, most of the resources, the experts, they are scared to come to the radio station. Oh, everyone is going to listen to us. If we make a mistake, everyone is going to hear. And so a lot of the time they actually cancel a few minutes before the program, and it happened quite a few times. So here we decided to always have a plan B. So a plan B meaning when we have an expert, we go towards that person. We have a first meeting where we record. So we record that meeting in case that expert actually cancels just before the program, and often a few minutes. Oh, so that was very innovative. And I also wanted to know, you are a young woman, so you probably live in a community. You could address those problems, those issues in women's association. And why did you think that radio was the main channel to address those issues? Radio. Personally, I think that there is nothing better than radio station or to talk about those issues. Why? Because compared to writing press or television, radio doesn't ask for money or even internet. Even just with a very small phone, we can easily connect to radio wherever we are, and we don't necessarily need or to be completely free to listen to radio. We can listen to radio while doing something else. I hope that our participants, they understand why at FRI, at Farm Radio International, we use radio as a main way to share information to farmers, men and women around the world. Do you really think, Eunice, that your program had an impact? Yes, personally, I think that our program had an impact. Why? Because first in Bouaké we have women that do jobs that are mainly done by men, and before it was not possible. And there are some communities some communities where it still doesn't happen. And here there is in the transport company, there is a woman that actually drives a bus. We also have a woman that do other jobs that are mainly done by men. And so even at the political level, when we talk about the award level, we out of 5 we have 3 women, and so yes, congratulations, that's very impressive. Can you tell us maybe a strong moment that you lived of in your life, or maybe when you met one of the listeners and showed you the impact that radio is having on their everyday life, maybe an anecdote that you have? Yes, it was one day during a program when we were talking about family planning, and there was a lot of stereotypes, especially regarding contraception, and a lot of the time during Vox Pop, it came back that contraception was leading to infertility among women, and so we organized a program to try to confirm or not this statement, and so we were there with the woman and the husband, and so we had a few calls, and there is this woman who said, oh, what you are saying, we don't really believe, because I have my aunt, she had an implant for 6 months and then she married, and up until today she's not able to have kids. And so there was also another woman that couldn't speak French, and she said and we had an interpreter, and she said she's used to listen to our program, and she believes that if we tell her that she can get pregnant even if we use for a very long time contraception, and that really she believes us, and because since ever she realized that everything we say is true. Really, congratulations. And maybe to finalize, what advice would you give to other broadcasters that are participating in this event? Is to tell our colleagues that as media, our main mission is to really denounce all the different the state of our communities, and really to change the mentality in our communities. And our task is not easy, but we don't have the right to give up. We took an oath from the beginning to be the voice of the people that don't have a voice. So whatever are the challenges that we are facing, we have this obligation to try to accomplish our mission. So really to ask them to not give up, because the community is counting on us and women are counting on us. I think that we are going to stop here. Thank you very much, Eunice. And again, congratulations to the whole team from your radio station. Thank you to the management to accept the broadcasting of this type of program. Thank you also to Farm Radio International that give you the opportunity to express yourself. Here at Farm Radio International, we don't only believe in radio, but also in a proactive radio that produce impact, because in all we do, at the end of the day, we are looking for impact, and we really we hope that our target feels that the information that we have shared is really helpful. And I can say congratulations. You have received this prize because you deserve it. Now I would like to thank again all those that are listening to us all over the world. On Zoom right now we are at 94. I don't know how many we are on our Facebook live, probably a lot of us to listen and to participate in this event. And now comes the time, the 10 minutes for the question and answers. You can send your questions on the chat and ask your question and precise the person to which you are asking the question, and I would be happy to read your question out loud. I don't know if the technical team in the back has some questions that we can ask to the different panelists. Okay, so now I already have a question for Patricia. Patricia, you mentioned some challenges. You mentioned challenges that you faced as a woman broadcaster. What helped you to stay motivated, Patricia, and what inspires you? Thank you very much for the question. I can say that what allowed me, that me too, as a journalist woman, I can bring something in the community and as a positive change. It's the training and also the encouragement of men with who I work at the radio station, that every day they support me and tell me, Patricia, go for it. You're going to manage. And I can see myself being very proud and see that my efforts are recognized with Farm Radio International, and I can see that today I'm still very determined to work. Patricia, I can say something in Lingala.
Bote na yo, bote na yo.
In Lingala, we are going to continue with questions. This question is for Juliet. There is a participant that wants to know what impact will have this prize, Liz Hughes Prize, on your career, and what would you tell the other broadcasters regarding talking about those gender issues on air?
Thank you so much. Through this prize, I feel very high, being respected personally, and my station, Radio Maria Tanzania, this honor goes to also to all women who participated in the gender and development program in Kiswahili. We call it Jinsia na Maendeleo, as they allowed their voices on experiences, challenges, and achievements to be held and became a motivation for gender equality in Tanzania. So through them, the judges gave them victory among many women in Africa. But it's a clear message to me that I should keep up going, the hardworking and passion, especially by enabling the voices of more women to be healthy and facilitating the well-being for their lives. But also is a deputy to me and the Radio Maria Tanzania that we must redouble our efforts in promoting gender justice and equality. The campaign needs people, institutions who are committed in helping women in appropriate ways. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juliet. Thank you very much for your response. Another question now for Eunice, the winner of Liz Hughes Prize. And so this question is for Eunice that is listening to us from Buake. Eunice, there is a participant that wants to know how the broadcasters that are scared to talk about sensitive topics like contraception or to talk about this type of topics, and we know that all the theme regarding to sexual and reproductive health are very sensitive. What are the advice that you can give the other broadcasters on that? Okay, thank you for the question. I think that this question is welcome, and at the same time, right now we talk about sexual education. It's true, before it was completely impossible to even dare to talk about this topic. Then we were doing it, they would think, oh, you are vulgar, you are changing the brains of the youth, but I think it's our work. And if I have to give a piece of advice to the broadcaster, is to not be scared. The hardest is to start. You have to start, you have to try. When we are not used to it and it is not part of our programs, the first program, what I would advise you to do is to go slowly, to go step by step. So first to start with some spots, awareness spots. We start slowly, and then maybe we can interview one person. So we always try to make the words used not too strong and at first, and to use them and to do that slowly. And now I have a question for Rosemond, and we are going to go quickly because we don't have enough time. Your program talks about the creation of compost and pesticide to generate revenues for farmers. Why did you use this approach for your audience? Thank you very much for the question. I would say that the idea of compost came from the climate change issue, and the land here is very impoverished because the techniques used for the new seeds, they are not really adapted and they impoverish the land. And so it's from there that with some partners with also in link with the association, we met BioProtect and other partners that developed this approach, this compost approach that was very adapted and better for the regeneration of the soil. And this is what took us to propose this solution to our listeners, to solve the problem of regeneration of soil. Wow, thank you very much, Rosemond. And now we have a question for Solomon, our winner from Ethiopia, and the question is coming from CDB, based in Côte d'Ivoire. And I say hi to the whole team of Farm Radio International in Côte d'Ivoire. Solomon, how were you able to stay online despite the challenges? I don't know, maybe Gizao, that is also here, that is follow us on a line, that maybe could help with the translation. I was saying that with the challenges that Solomon faced, how did he do it to be able to continue and to stay on air, to be able to face those challenges?
በነበረው ሁኔታ ሁሉ እንዴት አድርገህ ነው ስራውን መቀጠል የቻልከው? ጦርነቱ የመሳሰለው ነገር፣ ኢንተርናል ዲስፕሌስመንቱ፣ እንዴት አድርጋችሁ ነው ስራውን ለመቀጠል የቻልከው ነው የሚሉት። ከአይቨሪ ኮስት ነው ጥያቄው።
ያለው ነገር ምን አንተው ትራንስሌት ታደርገው ወይስ ነገር?
አንተው አብራራው እንጂ።
ኦኬ yes, the challenge is very hard. The challenge was very hard, but our area with the war, but the public is support us to deliver the information about especially the displaced people. There are many displaced people in our area. The public support to the displaced people is also very high. The government support to the displaced people. These all are the challenge, but we didn't work our formal standard program. All program concentrated to the war. We had no choice at that time. Therefore, we translate. Okay.
Merci beaucoup, Solomon.
Thank you, Solomon. There is a quick question from a broadcaster. They want to know how do we access the trainings from Farm Radio International, and I'm going to give the mic to Hannah Tellier from Farm Radio International that could quickly answer this question before we conclude the event.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Tellier, and I'm a resources coordinator with Farm Radio International. I had the pleasure of being involved with this award process. And to answer your question, Martine, and thank you so much for asking it, we have a really exciting opportunity coming up for broadcasters, for all of the Farm Radio broadcasting partners, to take part in a discussion on gender. So that is a wonderful opportunity coming up soon. I will post the link in the chat. So if you are a Farm Radio broadcasting partner or you would like to become one, you can sign up for this opportunity and participate and learn more about some of these gender issues that we're hearing about today. In addition, you can visit farmradio.fm to see our resources, to explore our training opportunities, and take advantage of those for your own broadcasting. Martine, thank you so much, and back to you.
Merci beaucoup, Anna.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you to everyone for your participation. We are not going to conclude without giving the mic to Kevin, who is the Executive Director of Farm Radio International. Your turn, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Martine, and thanks to everyone for attending and participating in this celebration of radio and farm radio excellence. I'd like to add my voice to all the chat messages that I saw congratulating the 2022 Farm Radio Award winners and runners-up, Rosamond Baquiano, Patricia Kasoki, Solomon Ayele, Eunice Coley on behalf of Radio Media Plus, Côte d'Ivoire, and Juliette Munga on behalf of Radio Maria, Tanzania. Thank you for all your phenomenal and important radio programming and for being part of this conversation today. I'd also like to thank the judges for the Liz Hughes Award, Rita Hukayam from Global Affairs Canada, Eliane Nadros from the Food and Agriculture Organization's Demetra Clubs, CBC and Farm Radio International board member Nora Young, and former CBC member Doug Rushton, who's also, as you heard, the husband of the late Liz Hughes, after whom this award is named. Big thanks to Lloyd Robertson for joining us in this, and always a delight and a treat to hear you at work. Again, Martine Moguem and Doug Rushton for helping make this a time to reflect on the importance of excellent radio programming and its ability to improve millions of lives. A big thank you also goes to Farm Radio staff who helped make this event happen. Tara Sprickerhoff, Katie Burnham, VJ Cutterford, Hannah Tellier, and Tom Jansen, as well as our very hardworking and patient translators, Clementina Sanchez and Sarah Karambi. As I mentioned at the beginning, Farm Radio supporters help us continue to play a key role in providing life-saving and life-changing information to millions across Africa. Looking forward, 2022 promises to be an equally exciting and important year. We're going to have two important areas of focus this year. First is continuing the work around COVID-19. Second, we're planning to step up our efforts to help rural Africans adapt and respond to climate change. So let me invite you again to be part of our work and to join us again this year. Your support, your involvement provides millions of people in Africa, across Africa, with reliable information about many things, from vaccines to climate resilience to best farming practices. If you are able to support and wish to support, it's give.farmradio.org. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, and take a moment on Sunday, World Radio Day, to raise a toast to radio. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day and evening. Goodbye.